Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. My name is Sean. I'm in the studio with my main man, Steven Chad. What's going on, big dog?
What is going on, my man?
How are you, man? It's been too long.
Man, we gotta stop doing this whole weekly thing. We gotta come up with a plan that we can hang out with each other more.
We can see each other more. This isn't enough?
Yeah, not enough for me.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a jam-packed show. We're going to go over a bunch of recruiting news, crystal ball news, a $3 million man, Tannehill. But before we get into that, we have an incredible special guest, the man, the myth, the legend, Lorenzo Lingard. What is up, big dog? There he is. What is? He's got his rod out. We were talking fishing beforehand. What's going on, Bubba?
Not much. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So talk to us a little bit. We were talking precast a little bit that you're a big fisherman, right? You get a little offshore, a little inshore going on.
Right.
What rod was that there? Tell me about it.
This is it's a pen.
Okay.
I don't know what size it is. I think it's a pen 4000. Yeah, it cost me about $100, but it's worth it.
It's worth it. You're
Yeah.
telling you go a little bass fishing around campus. Got kicked off a local golf course.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I got your PR here. I got a PR picture. That's your PR. What do you think about 5 pounds for that bass?
Oh yeah, 5 pounds. 5 pounds with a good fight.
And that was in Gainesville.
Yep, in Gainesville.
Look, I got to show mine off too, man. This was me just the other day.
All
right.
man.
Look, they're about twins. There's a twins. It might be the same fish.
Might be.
It might be the same fish.
Brother fish. Like, what are we doing here? How are we pulling this off?
Hey, real quick, Lorenzo, we got Muddy saying our future breakout MVP. So that's a great kind of segue. There's a lot of love for you, man, here in Florida. What's your takes on that?
Man, it's just great, man. The fans are great. The coaching staff is great. The team is great. So I definitely felt the love when I came here amongst just being in the atmosphere.
Awesome. Now I want to get into this too, because obviously, like your growth to football and how you started, everyone's different, right? You hear the story of like, hey, I was the small kid, never had an opportunity, and I just finally found my rut, and I took off and never looked back. And then you got some who are just, I've always been a man amongst boys, and I walk in the room like, yo, that's the guy right there. What's your story? Where do you lie at?
I kind of say like I wasn't always a man. And at a young age in Pop Warner, basically like my 3 years I played, I was on the line. I played DN, and
Okay.
I wasn't the fastest, but like I was up there. And then finally, I was able to play wide receiver my last year with my with the Delta on the Panthers, and I was just going up, catching the ball, you know what I'm saying, scoring here and there, and then finally I switched to a new team, and then that's when I became the man. Like, and then the thing is, like, I've like always been taller.
Okay.
Than most, so like I've probably been the same height since like 7th grade.
Okay. So that makes a sense of the line and the wide receiver talk, because you were just bigger than everybody else.
Right.
So when did you make the transition from wide receiver to running back?
Had to be 4th grade, around 4th to 5th grade. 4th grade.
Okay, and then that was it. You were never passed around from there on.
Oh no, just run straight, and then I played a little bit of safety, and then on 8-on-8 I played linebacker.
Okay, so a little bit, but in high school did you play both sides in high school? Because I know typically when you got a star like yourself, right, coming out of high school, you're a highly recruited. Typically, you're playing on both sides. Were you, or are you just running down the throats?
Just running the ball, but they want to play defense, but like they didn't want to put me on defense, so I was like, okay, I'll just
save the legs,
protect the star. Yeah, protect the star.
So what got you into it? Who was kind of your idol in a sense of who brought you into this and kind of threw you, hey, this is what you're gonna do?
I had a cousin named Howard Lingard. He played here a while ago. His career here was short, but like he was the man in my family. And then of course my dad and my uncle were great athletes, but like my cousin Howard, he was just a freak of nature. Like he would just push cars, jump over cars, you know.
Really?
Yeah, it's like jump over like the top of trucks. He'll just jump in the bed of a truck, and then Yeah.
You mean like dead leap into the back of a truck?
Yeah, just just jump. Like 36 years old, he can still do it.
I was going to say, how old is he now? So he's 36?
Yeah, 36.
So what position did he play?
He played linebacker.
Okay, so yeah, just a freak of nature then. Absolute
See, this
beast.
kind of thing makes every Thanksgiving dinner go way wrong. Like now you can't even enjoy yourself. Like, well, this guy can jump into the back of the truck. Well, this guy can jump onto the hood of the truck. Well, this guy's trying to jump onto the roof of the truck. I just want to eat. I'm a fat guy. I just want to eat.
Hold on. So I was gonna save this, but I feel like I have to bring it up now. It's too perfect.
This is the place.
this is the place. This is when we do this here. There's a video of you on Twitter pulling a truck. Was this like, hey, cuz I can show you. I got this. When was this?
They've been doing it since they were 4.
So that was last year around this time. I think it was my trainer Alex Toe, and he's a Seminole fan. So basically, on the back of his truck, he got a big old Seminole sticker. And I was like, okay, yeah. So once you play them, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna drag them.
I love it. I love it. That is incredible, dude. This right here. So we talked precast about coming out and working out with you. This is the stuff that I want to try to just. I'm gonna do my best. Okay, you might have to put it in neutral and maybe hit the gas a little bit. This is what I'm gonna try to keep up with you, boss. I'm gonna do the best that I can.
That works, Sheldon. That's how an engine works.
Look, they don't need to know. They don't
Put
need
it
to
downhill, downhill. If we can do that.
Downhill. That's great.
That's too cool, man. So he played linebacker. So you obviously we'll kind of segue now. You went to Miami for a little bit, right? Was Florida an early destination because your family was there, or were you open minded to that?
So it was Florida, Ohio State, and pretty much Miami.
Okay, so all three of those schools were looking at you and early on then, and you chose Miami. And you mentioned in the precast you had a relationship with Rick, correct?
Correct.
And so was that the ultimate reason why you chose Miami over Florida?
Yeah, I would say. Mm-hmm.
Okay, because going somewhere where you're comfortable, that makes sense. Where you know the coach, you said you had a relationship when you were in 8th grade. So look, going to Miami when you're from Central Florida, that's a big change. You want to feel kind of, hey, I got to have something that I can feel at home with.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Steve.
So it looks like Manny Diaz comes in 2019. I think you redshirt that year. Am I right?
Right. Redshirt.
Okay. So you've got a year. You acclimate to the new coaching staff. Was it just not a fit from everything that you saw? Like what happened in 2019 that you felt this maybe isn't the spot?
It was not a fit amongst like the guys who were not from that area. So their whole deal was we're gonna keep the talent at home. So, and he pretty much excluded like guys who wasn't from there. So, and like I don't know how many transfers in my class left, but it's probably like more than 10. So yeah, that was that was crazy.
Yeah, I remember when Diaz said that he was going to lock down the southern part of Florida, and that was going to be what they recruited as. So it would make sense that you're going to bring in guys from down there, and maybe the kids that aren't from there. You're not pushed out, but you might have a better opportunity somewhere else. So let me ask you this: so the recruiting process itself, coming out of high school. I think we all know what that is. You get your 5 official visits, and you get your letters and your offers and all those things. What is the secondary recruiting process like?
Portal part of things.
Yeah. Right.
The portal. So basically, like so when I had to jump in the portal.
Yeah. How's the recruiting from a portal standpoint?
Pretty much is just the teams that you have interest in. You pretty much go for, and then if they reach their hand out, then you take the offer. So,
okay.
So I was looking to come back home because of my dad's health, and then it was either Florida or UCF, and so I chose.
Do you take visits? Is it the same thing as like the 5 big official visits that you take when you're going through your high school recruiting?
Nah, I didn't do that. I said, hey, I need to come home. My dad's health. I'm not in the right headspace here. I want to focus. I want to be an impact to the team. I want to win.
So
That's
they
all.
reach out. You put yourself out there. They reach out to you, and if you've got a mutual
Yeah,
interest,
mutual.
then
Yeah.
that's
Right,
home.
right.
That's
So
great, man.
how is your dad now? Is he better?
Oh yeah, he's a lot better.
Okay,
Good.
good stuff. So you said you're in the wrong, not a great headspace. We talked earlier kind of about your living arrangement, right, and where you're at now. So right now you live off campus with somebody who does not go to school there. He's just a local in Gainesville. Why is that?
Because it just ex teammate of mine, good friend Al Blades, Al Blades Jr.
Junior, yeah.
So I had him as a roommate, and man, this kid does not go to sleep. Like this playing Fortnite, then at 12 at night. I'm like, man, we got workouts at 5:30. Why you up? And then one day, that night he was up. We ended up waking up late. I got a penny board. He's on a bike, and we sitting just hauling ass about like a mile and a half across campus. I fall, his chain breaks, and we make it as the line is like basically as the team is lining up. We throw on our clothes, and boom, they blow the whistle. Man, I was so gassed.
So
Worst drills you've ever ran.
Yeah,
Yeah,
was this in Miami or in Florida?
this is at
Miami.
Miami.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So what happened?
the Blades family plays for Miami.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what happens if you're late?
Oh, you got to do the workout again. I think. Wake up the next morning and then you got punishment.
Oh my goodness. So being late is not fun then.
Oh,
It does not pay off.
no. And then
So-
here, I was never late here, but with the new staff, they got something called bandasia. It's like a name, but so you just get like a bunch of bands and they put it on you, and you just run back and forth and do back pedals, side shuffle, with like 5 bands on you. So it's just constant resistance, and I think you run for like 10 minutes straight.
That's if you're late. That's the punishment is bandasia.
Bandasia.
I absolutely love it. That is awesome. That is too cool. So
Sounds horrible. It sounds horrible.
I
What are
love
you
that.
talking about?
There's a name to it though. That's the fun part about it.
Yeah.
So speaking of the new staff, right? So you transferred over with Dan Mullen, and now we've got old Billy. Scared money don't make money, right?
Mhm.
So when Dan left, was there a time where you were considering leaving? Because like again, were you headspace things, or were you always all in no matter who came in, or what was up? How was that?
Yeah, so basically, I was just all in. So I left before, I left somewhere before and had to put in the same work. So I mean,
You were committed no matter who came in.
yeah. Mhm.
Okay. And so I don't want to put you on a spot of like who was better or whatnot, because I know it's obviously new. But how are you liking? I'm assuming you're liking what's going on right now. Do you like where the direction is headed? What are your thoughts on the new coaching staff, on where the offense is? Because you were there for last year's offensive scheme. How is last year's different from this year's, and what do you like? What are you excited to see about it?
So for the staff, I think they're great people. I haven't seen any negativity from them yet. I haven't seen any flaws in their coaching. So I think what they're teaching us is working. And then as far as the offensive scheme is definitely what I'm used to, as what I was brought up on. So it's my type of running style.
Yes,
Awesome.
and that was one of the questions I definitely want to jump in on. Look, you're a lean guy. You're fast, but it looks like you're powerful when you put your shoulder down. The Florida website, I looked at it. It said you had it listed you as a fullback, but you're definitely from what I can tell, as a halfback kind of guy. Where do you think that you fit in with the offense? I mean, are you going to be more of a between the tackles guy? Do you think that you're going to be third down? Do you think you're all purpose? Like where do you fit in this offense? Because Billy's just got some dynamic things that he wants to do with the talent that's there.
I say, well, in order to be on the field, I have to do everything. So as far as running downhill and being able to stretch the ball, as far as making the right protection for the quarterback. So being a whole versatile player is what I am.
Okay. Steve, ask your question. I don't want to steal. This is Steve's question. It's a great question. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
so
Go ahead, Steve.
we talked about so Shelton and I talked about this off cast before the precast, but obviously I'm an FSU guy, okay, and you have lived in the camps of the two biggest rivals that FSU has. You've lived in the Miami camp and you've lived in the Florida camp. So after living with both of these two, which one hates Florida State the most?
Well, think about the fans. I'll probably say Miami hates Florida State the most, and
Really?
That's
then
fair.
our biggest probably would be Georgia.
Yeah, I
Well,
would.
out of state would be Georgia, but that's like more so our bigger rivalry.
I
Sure.
agree. The Florida State rivalry has kind of dwindled a little bit over the years. I would
Yeah,
say 'cause it's just been
Unfortunately.
so lopsided. Either Florida's really good or Florida State's really good. It hasn't really been competitive, and it's kind of died. The Florida Georgia game is really taking the lead on a more competitive stance for sure.
right.
All right, this is kind of a fun question. I don't want to put. I mean, we're putting you on the spot a little bit. A lot of players. Who's your favorite? Who's your kind of like your boy on the team?
My God, I like. I probably like Justin Shorter. He's a good
Okay.
player.
Okay.
And Pouncey.
Pouncey.
Everybody, yeah.
Who would you say is like the class clown of the team?
Probably Naquan. Naquan's the funniest.
Really?
Yeah, Naquan is so funny. He's not he doesn't try to be funny, but it's just his personality.
I know. Yeah, it just he said we have a guy at work. He just says the perfect thing at the perfect time.
Yeah, the guy has the most
got a
greatest
ring to
one-liners
it.
ever. Yeah, it's just and you can't quite figure out why he's so funny because he doesn't try it, but it's just the best one-liners of all time.
Right.
I love it. We've got AR-15 and Jack Miller. What are your thoughts on AR-15 on his success for this year? What are your feelings on him?
I feel like he's gonna do great. He's in the trainer. He's up there with the coaches a lot, and same thing with Jack. So I mean, we're all in the group chat. Well, we were in the group chat during spring, and then pretty much holding each other accountable. Oh, did you watch film? Or oh, what time are you gonna go watch film with coach? Okay, I'm gonna come. So pretty much, this off season, both players are leading up to be great during the season.
Awesome. So it
Love it.
sounds like the headspace is there. Now, that was another thing I want to talk about too. It seems where the Billy Napier structure, right? Does he have more of a structure and accountability more so than Dan, or is it the same? Is he just more vocal about it? Tell me about that a little bit and kind of where you stand and how cause it seems like you got a great head on your shoulders and you already have your own accountability by the fact that you're moving out because you're trying to get away from that to be focused, right? Has Billy influenced that more, or has that always been there from a coaching aspect?
Oh yeah. So no, I think for sure the way he applies things is definitely more structured. He has the team's attention, and he has the team's focus right now. So, and then we're aware of what's going on and how we do it at all times. So pretty much, I'd say the way he does things is working for us.
Awesome.
Awesome, man. So let me ask you this, man. Next year, where do you want to be? Do you want to be a wide receiver? I mean, if they put you at tight end, if they put you at running back, I mean, where do you want your stats to be? You tell me. Do you want to be 1,000-yard rusher? A
Oh,
1,000-yard receiver? Just tell me which part of the podium when you accept your Heisman that you want to walk it up for.
I'm 1,000-yard rusher, but
Let's go.
I'll do whatever it takes to help the team win. So it don't matter if I got to pass out water. I'm gonna do it and be the best that I can.
I love that mindset. That's awesome. I'm assuming. Look, within this scenario, you gotta have big dreams, you gotta have big goals, and you gotta have a focus, right? So that comes in the question of vision board. What's on the vision board for you this year, right? If you had to stat it out, and again, individually and from a team perspective, what's a team's goal in mind? Obviously, it's always to go undefeated, but what's like a realistic a goal for you and for the team?
For me, stay healthy.
Okay.
Win every game. Play. I'm gonna try to play special teams as much as possible. So kickoff, kick return.
Okay.
Um, having more tools in my box. And then as far as the team, no turnovers. Got to get first downs, limit all of our penalties, and win the red zone.
Okay, so you're talking about special teams on a sense of building your resume, saying, "Hey, I can go here, I can go there." Now, are you going to be more of a kick return? Is that what you're looking to be?
If they put me there, I'll do it. But as right now, I'll be up front blocking.
Okay, so you want to hit somebody?
Oh yeah.
I saw you got a tackle. Your first career tackle against FSU in the last game.
Oh yeah. I had one in the bowl game too.
Nice.
Last year in Atlanta, I had one. And I think I had one in Tennessee also.
Beautiful.
That's awesome.
Beautiful.
We got a question from the audience from Buddy. Ask him if he's been tackled by Big Des Watson yet.
Man, it's like whenever Dez is at nose and I gotta run towards him, like average player, like you can cut off him, but Dez is so wide, like okay, like I can't really cut. So then Coach Coach Luke is looking at me all crazy. I'm like, Coach, he's in the way, like you got like, he's not moving. So yeah,
that's too cool.
Is
I
that
talked by him, but I definitely ran into him, like.
It's a wall. One last question. So Connor said, "What's the biggest fish you've caught?" You talked about your bass. What outside, which was 5 pounds. Outside of that, what's the biggest fish that you've caught?
Probably a grouper on that charter.
Okay. Yeah, we talked about that pre-catch on a charter. So I'm going to have one more question, a little going away question, and you suggest some questions for us, which is new. Steve and I are excited. I didn't prepare for this part. But my question for you is 2 options. Okay, one option is you get to catch a 10-pound bass on a topwater, little froggy going across, because there's nothing better than a 10-pounder just coming out of the water and just swallowing that thing, right? That's incredible. Or you told me that right now your dream fish is a snook. So to catch a decent-sized snook, if you had the option right now to choose, which one would it be and why?
Probably be a 35-inch snook.
Over the bass.
Ooh.
Really? Okay.
Really? Okay.
I was thinking you were gonna pick the. Yeah, look. Snooks are fun. It's because they're so elusive, right? It's a little more elusive than a 10-pound because you can have them on and their teeth are so sharp. But it's hard to catch a snook. We go fishing all the time in Cedar Key. I should have. You know what I should have done? I should have showed you the picture of my wife. I'll send it to you. She caught a massive snook and almost ripped her finger off because she had it on the little string, and it took off and almost ripped her finger off.
Wow. Yeah, that's
look,
crazy.
You know where Cedar Key is, right? It's like an hour and a half away from.
I didn't think they had fish there because I went there once and then I kept getting hung up on the oyster bed. So I'm like, man, this place is crap. So
you got to have a certain kind of rigs. My family and I, we've been going there forever. Look, if we're ever there, I'll let you know on the way down. We'll get you on the boat and we'll try to catch you some snook, man. It's rare that we're even catching snook right now. I think because the red tide over and down in Tampa, it's pushing all these fish up north. So the last few times we have torn up the snook. So I'm dead serious. If we go, I will shoot you a message like, "Hey man, head over here. We're going out. I can't promise you anything, but we catch drum, we catch redfish, we catch flounder, trout. Dude. Cedar Key is the bomb. It's just knowing where to go and not getting caught up in the oyster shells."
Connor says, "Come down to St. Pete. He'll put you on a big mama snook."
That's true. That's my boy. I caught a little snook with him actually on his boat when we were in St. Pete. It was a little baby. But he didn't catch anything, so it's 1-0. Don't forget, Connor.
But he's got the big mama.
Yeah. All right, so Linda, what do you have for us, man?
So basically, like, how did you guys get started doing podcasts?
So it's funny you mentioned that. Steve was actually, right before you called, was just talking about it was this time last year. I came to Steve. I was like, "Hey, man, I got this idea. I've always loved to do broadcasting. I went to school for it originally to do radio. I've always watched ESPN, Stephen A., Skip Bayless. Like, those are the guys I grew up with. And I was like, I love that. I love kind of shooting the shoot with the boys and having an opinion on things. And I was like, I want to do something. And Steve, if you haven't noticed, has a phenomenal voice. I mean, the guy's got it going on. So he's got the perfect radio voice. So I was like, "Hey, man, this is my idea. What do you think about it?" And he goes, "Absolutely." So after a month of planning, it actually started in March, month of planning and figuring out and designing the room, and designing the idea. We went, our first episode, I believe, was June 8th. So we're just almost at a year. And we just hit 1,000 subscribers not too long ago.
Oh, wow. That's
good.
So.
Yeah, so basically what it was, and honestly, Lo, is we just said it took us a while to say this is what we want to do and this is what our platform is going to be, and we just threw ourselves at it. And we said every weekend we're going to put video up. And every weekend we did it. And Shelton and I couldn't live possibly farther from each other. I live at the very, very north end of Jacksonville, almost Georgia. He lives at the very south end of Jacksonville. St. Augustine. Almost like I don't even know what the hell's next. But every Sunday I'd pack my stuff up and I would go down there, and every Sunday we just did it, and we did it over and over and over and over, and we wouldn't let anything get in the way. We wouldn't let, if it was raining, we wouldn't let, like some other random things that would typically be in your weekend that would just we would find a way, no matter what, to fit it in and get it shot and get it done. And, after about like 6-7 months, it just became so easy to do that we were able to start putting out so much content that we got here. And one day, I'm not going to lie, right here, we decided we're going to do a live YouTube and we're going to stream it here. And we did this. Yeah, we did this probably 3 weeks, and we were the only people here, and we just basically talked to each other. And next thing you know, we looked over at the comment section one day, and we looked up at this little tiny red eye that tells you how many people are watching, and it was at like 80 and 85 and 90. And next thing you know, we were talking to these guys and they were talking back, and it just built into this thing that we were kind of blown away with.
Yeah,
but
we still are.
Still are. Like, these guys are all here. They're talking to us right now. I can see them. But it just took that one initial push to say that we're not going to miss a single week and just always give people content. And it was a slow grind. Eventually it just turned into what we have now. And trust me, it ain't much, but we're super proud of it. These guys love us, so that's why we're here every week, and we appreciate you being here as well, Lo.
All right, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Anything else for us, man?
That's about it, man. Go Gators.
Go Gators, baby. Yeah. Look, you said you had to about 9:15. I think we nailed it on the dot. We appreciate it again, man. We're gonna clip some of this stuff up. I'll get it over to you. So you have it for yourself, so you can post it up on there. But I'll be reaching out. We talk about doing a little workout thing in the next coming weeks. I want to come pull a truck with you. So
all right, sounds good.
Maybe we'll catch some fish too, man. Hey, Lorenzo, I appreciate it again, man. I really thank you for taking the time, man.
No problem. Thank you all.
Have a good night, man. Go Gators.
All right, man. Later, love. And yes, Audra, you were here from the beginning. You absolutely deserve that. Yes,
mama. Wow, that was awesome. That was too cool, man. That was too good. Too cool. Too to be cool, man. I can't even talk. I'm so excited.
Gosh, I'm usually the drunk one on this cast. I haven't touched a drop of alcohol, and you're making me look good.
Man, I don't even know where to go from here. I don't even know. Hey, welcome everybody. Johnny, go Gators. We got Andrew here. What's going on? Ryan's here. 904 Hurricanes here. Who else we got? Tyler Elliott was popping off in the comments, man. Sorry I didn't see you earlier on. Tim Brace here. Got a bunch of people here, man. Thank you guys for stopping by. Yeah. Mama, go Gators. Absolutely. That was awesome, dude. That was really cool to get that insight. So just so you guys know, we did talk to Lorenzo in the precast, and I said, hey, man, here's this idea that I have. I want to come out. I want to work out with you. The guy's an absolute freak with working out. You saw that man pulling trucks. So what's your thoughts on this? He goes, yeah, man, absolutely. So I'm going to reach out. Hopefully we can keep this relationship going. Hopefully we can maybe put him on some Snook. Mom, call T. We're going to Cedar Key. Put the man on the boat. So
I love it. Yeah. So if Lowe's down for frisbee golf, I'm a contact frisbee golfer in case he's curious.
Thank you, Muddy, for the update. The Heat are up by 15. I got a lot of flack that we had to go live tonight during the Heat game, but I appreciate the update. Thank you, man. All right, let's get into our first topic. We got a lot of good stuff to go over today, not just Lorenzo. So we have a ton. This is some good news. Look, we've had a lot of talk last week about Miami performing better in the portal. I posted this video to a Facebook page and got absolutely railroaded by Gator fans. I mean, my goodness. Most of the time, they were just going off of the title. And I was like, did you guys watch the video? Like, this wasn't like a shit fest. Like, it was a simple just assessment of what's happening here, right? So let's diverse a little bit and let's get back to some good news, okay? Because they were coming after us hard and heavy. in the comments.
Man.
We got some big guys coming in. So we've got a 5-star defensive lineman is locking in his official visit in June, from June 9th to June 11th. 5-star Peter Woods. So I want you. Can you do something, Steve? Can you get a little checklist going on your list for me here? Because I want to do a little tally on schools for everyone to kind of get an idea of where Florida's sitting on the recruiting side. Let me know when you're ready.
All right, let's go.
All right, so he is down. This is his top 4 people. Florida. So you're going to write down Florida, Bama, Oklahoma, write down Clemson, and put a 1 next to all these guys. If we have more, we'll add them next time and put a 1. But right now, that's where we're at.
All right. Florida, Bama, Clemson.
And Oklahoma.
Ew. All
right. Next, we have 4-star linebacker is going to be visiting as well. Malik Bryant. I'm pretty sure, want to say he has a crystal ball to come to Florida. I want to say he's already visited. I could be incorrect, but he's visiting. Oh, this is his 3rd trip. That's what I thought. This is his 3rd trip. So Malik Bryant is pretty heavily looking like he's going to be a Florida Gator. His schools are Florida. So put another one next to Florida. Bama, another one for Bama. UCF you got to add. Miami you need to add. And USC you need to add.
UCF and USC?
USC. Trojans.
Oh, we'll get into that.
Yep. And Miami. Did you get that?
In Miami, yeah, got him.
All right. The next one we have is 5-star prospects. Patrick Toney will be dropping by to see 5-star quarterback Tony Mitchell. Tony Mitchell looks like he's a heavy favorite to land in Florida. We messaged him. We had a few back and forth, but he hasn't said anything yet. Defensive linebacker Peter Wood. Oh, this is everything. Where's our crystal ball here? Crystal ball is Tony Mitchell, but hold on. Let me move on from that. The next one we have is quarterback, Gator visiting 4-star quarterback, Eli Holston. He made his father back in April. He doesn't have any schools on his. He hasn't gone down to a few schools, so I don't have any ready for him. 4-star defensive lineman Anthony James has locked in official visit. He is right now in Texas A&M commit, so you can put it at Texas A&M, give him a point, and Florida a point.
All right.
And then we also have Najee Harris. He is down to Miami.
Najee Harris.
May 7th. Oklahoma.
All right.
The Gators. All right. Alabama and Texas A&M and Michigan State. But you're going to put Michigan State because they're already a wash. And then we have
Michigan State and then Michigan State or Mississippi State?
Michigan State.
Oh,
we
the real MSU.
Real quick, we just got a super chat donation from Caleb Bork for $20. My goodness, this is the most profitable podcast we've ever had. Thanks, Caleb.
Caleb, you're the man, baby.
We love you, man. Appreciate that. Look at that beautiful boat he's got. Maybe he can take us and Lorenzo out on his boat.
See, now you're talking.
Now we're talking. Now we're talking. We appreciate that, man. Thanks for the support, Caleb. That's awesome. The other one we have, I think that's all I have. Oh, I've got Will Norman. He's down to Florida.
All right, Norman.
LSU, Texas A&M, and then Michigan and Penn State. But we're going to leave those out.
So what am I putting in here?
So the biggest thing I wanted to see was where does Florida match up? Is Florida in the lead versus like the Bama for those kids? Like how many times are we showing up on these kids' top 5s versus like the Bamas, the A&Ms, the Oklahomas, right? Because look, that's where to me, that's where the competition is. So out of these kids, if we're outweighing the Bamas and the Oklahomas, that looks good. We're making great headway.
Look, I mean, so right now you've got Woods, you're Bama, Florida, definitely in it. Bryant, the crystal ball to Florida, but it looks like Bama's still floating around there. Yep. You got Holston. You said kind of up in the middle. Tony Mitchell is a crystal ball to Florida.
Yep.
Who else does he have? It doesn't look like anybody else. It looks like he's almost dead set there.
Who's that?
Tony Mitchell.
Tony Mitchell looks like he's a shoo-in.
Yep.
We got one more. Creed Whitmore, 4-star wide receiver. He's between Miami, Texas A&M, UC, and UCFF. So from me looking at these with all these top recruits, it's looking. Look, Florida is getting their name into the hat of big names, Ryan Borch has donated $50 to outdo his brother. We're having a bid off.
You know what the hell is happening?
We can retire now, Steve.
That's it. It's over.
Caleb, are you gonna let Ryan beat you?
we got $50 going. $50 here, $50 here. We got $50 on three. $50.
Muddy says the JUCO commit. Yes, the JUCO commit is going to be a huge addition to that O-line. He signed today. His name is Jordan Herman, who I mentioned as well. So that's going to be exciting to see him be added to that team. Look, and be a good blocker for Lorenzo. So excited to see that.
Yep. I'm sure Lowe was excited to see that as well.
Yeah,
thanks,
absolutely. So look, I'm really excited to see those visits. Again, it's good to see our name. How I visualize it, right, is the hats on the table, right? We're next to the Bamas. We're next to the A&M. Look, we made this video about Miami, and I got a lot of flack for it, but Miami is making a play, guys. Like, it's not crazy here from when I made. So I was getting a lot of flack because they're like, well, what's his name? Mario Kart. He coached at Oregon, so he's a D1. He has
Mario Kart, Mario Cristobal.
Yeah, that's what they're calling him, Mario Kart, right? He has experience. You can't compare him to Billy. Look, I'm comparing him to their first year here and how they're getting people out of the portal. So yes, we can compare them in that sense. But look, a lot of great players coming out. It's just exciting to see a lot of the Florida name being around 4 and 5 stars, because there was a stretch there where we weren't getting 5 stars were just non-existence in the Florida Gator recruiting.
Yeah, well, look, and FSU was in the same boat here. Not getting them and not even being in consideration for them are two different things. Look, you love to get them, but not being in consideration means that you're starting to fade. And right now with the NIL, and we'll chat about that here in a minute, it's not hard for a team to fade out. So, even if you've got some recent success and you're a smaller school, you got to be a little bit careful, because you want to have the hat on the table. You need that recognition to get some of the maybe lower ranked guys who think, man, that 5-star guy was that close to going to the school that I'll take that offer for.
So there's a name that I haven't seen. I don't know if you've heard of this team, but I haven't seen FSU's name on any of these tables. Are they okay over there? Is everything all right?
I think we're ranked 14 in the rankings so far.
Okay, I have a feeling it's going to dip down. I'm not just being negative. It just feels like it's been quiet over there in the armpit of Florida. Look, it's easy to take shots. I'm not here to take shots. I'm simply just I'm worried for you, Steve. It looks like Miami is going to be the second counter to Florida now, because Florida's always done a great job. Look, FSU had their time, but they've fallen flat here, and I'm worried about them.
I think they'll be okay. They've had
okay.
A 4-star defensive end came in, and that was his second visit after his not yet official. He's been hanging out there. There's a linebacker that's been there more than a couple of times who's a 4-star kid. I'm okay. From what I can see, as long as we don't have 17 Travis Hunter situations, I'm not too worried about it. FSU's been doing good so far. They've already got 2 4-star commitments, a tight end, a defensive end, and then I want to say 4 3-star kids too. So it's a grind. It's a grind, and then the NIL is a whole other thing.
This just in. Sean says he could be wrong, but he heard that Joe Biden is going to FSU and Mike gets fired. Is that? Do you have any insight on that, Steve?
Well, no.
Okay.
So look, we'll take it for 1 year, and then we'll have to let Joe go. I think it'll be long term better for everybody.
Crystal Ball could be the next Urban Meyer if not careful. Is he talking about Crystal Ball? Yeah. Andrew says Crystal Ball could be the next Urban Meyer, and I'm assuming he means Ohio State, Florida Urban Meyer, and not sweater vest Jacksonville Urban Meyer. Yes. Okay. Yeah. I think that's what he's referring to. Look, this is where a lot of Gator fans and I love Gator fans, right? I love the Gators, right? I mean, obviously love the fan base. We do have some crazy ones out there. Okay. And we all do, but man, these guys are getting hostile, right? Like Miami's trash. They're not going to go anywhere. It's like, look, you have to look and see what's happening here. Like, I totally understand. Like, some people are like, oh, well, they need 11. That's why they have 11. Well, Billy's came out and said multiple times, we need it too. right? So that was where the assessment came from. It was like, look, we only have 5. 3 of the 5 were from his previous school. So how powerful are those previous players? Like, how big is that move versus a Cristobal who has 11, right? So it's you can't oversee that at all.
Yeah, no, and to that point, I mean, it's just there's a lot of activity right now happening in the state of Florida. Cristobal coming back to Miami, everybody should be a little bit
On the edge of the
frightened on
seats.
what he can do down there. And even Lorenzo just said, even when Diaz came in, his immediate goal was to lock down the southern part of Florida because of the amount of talent that they can get. I don't think he wasn't able to do it. Diaz wasn't able to do it. He hemorrhaged a lot of talent, like a Lorenzo Lingard, who went back to Florida. He lost, I think, more talent than he gained in that mindset because he wasn't able to do what he said he was going to do in that regard. But at the same time, Cristobal, I think, is a lot sharper coach. He's a lot more meticulous. He's got a better plan. Look, the guy hasn't coached a single game yet for the University of Miami, but he is a Miami guy, and he has been down there for a long time, and he has been down there when they were really good. And, man, you just hope that he can't reproduce what they did, 15 years ago. And it's hard, don't get me wrong, especially with the way the college football landscape is now. But, man, we just hope that the guy can actually get it together, because if Miami can get their crap together and they can lock down the bottom part of the state, there is just so much talent.
And you're in the ACC. Nobody plays in the ACC. That's going to be – it's like basically you're like the Lincoln Riley. Like you're playing in a weak division too. I mean, there's a lot there.
If you could stockpile in the ACC, if you can stockpile talent in the ACC, you're going to win it. Like Clemson showed it. FSU showed it, 5, 6, 7 years ago, right? I mean, like we had the talent. We were going to out-talent you. Bobby Bowden did it. We were going to out-talent you. And it wasn't a situation where, the schemes of each coach and you had to really like game plan. It was the Jimmies and the Joes, were bigger than the X's and the O's. And, I think that's kind of the situation that the ACC has now is it's a recruiting game. You get the players, you're going to win the games because the X's and O's stop mattering when you have 5 stars on a second string.
Sure.
And they could be close to doing that down in Miami if Cristobal can pull it off. At the same time, it looked like Clemson was going to do it forever, and that doesn't look like the same now. But I just don't know that they have the fertile ground that Cristobal has. Cristobal can literally put a fence around the bottom of Florida, and if he can cut that thing off, that's just a harvest of talent that if they don't leave, it's all his, and that ain't hard to win with.
Sure. So there's a question here from John Dooley. Says, could we get Manning? I heard we went to talk to him. We have been heavily in the recruiting process for Arch Manning. Surprisingly, I think we talked with Connor about this. We had a whole video where like, look, we feel like he's a little overrated, but you have to put your name in the hat. So I think that it's more of a political play for the Arch Manning than an actual play. I think Texas, this is where everyone's pointing to, is Texas. Look, Texas didn't have a single player drafted to the NFL draft, which to me, if I'm Arch Manning, I don't know how I would feel about that, right? Because that's crazy. I mean, Texas has completely fallen off the map in that sense. But I still think Texas is going to be a heavy favorite. To be honest, Quinn Ewers is going to be a big play in that. How does Quinn Ewers bode in his first season? Is he going to just come in and play lights out and really take the reins and say, basically, Arch, you're not even going to have an opportunity because I'm that good? I don't think so. I'm big on Quinn, but I just don't think the kid's going to get it done, and I think it's going to be an easy shoo-in for Arch. There's a ton of money flowing. Why Texas? But outside the money, it doesn't seem appealing to me. I think Georgia's a big play for him. Ole Miss, because of the Manning heritage, is a big play. I don't think Florida truly has a real opportunity, but from a political standpoint, to have your name consistently on the table, again, it's just huge. Just for the fact that every time an Arch Manning article comes out and his top 6 and Florida's name is on there is massive. Absolutely massive.
Yep. Look, all you want right now is the name recognition next to the 5-star guys. Look, we can tell you by having this site that certain words generate certain traffic, and Arch Manning will generate certain traffic. Having your name associated with that kid will just naturally bring other eyes to look. You can't say that you've never gone on YouTube and searched on one thing, and then as you were looking at that one thing, you thought, oh, that would be interesting too, and you just kind of take a left or a right, or maybe just a fork in the road. So having your name just in the opportunity of the tree of search and of what people are looking for, that's really all you want. Now, do I think that Arch Manning is going to go to Florida? No. Do I think Arch Manning gives two craps about the amount of money that he's going to make potentially on an NIL level at the University of Texas? Hell no. Do I think that Arch Manning gives a crap about going to Ole Miss because his grandfather did and his uncle did? Hell no, because Peyton didn't. So it's just, there's a lot of different reasons why none of that shit matters.
Yeah,
he's got all the money in the world. His uncle went to one school. His other uncle went to the other. He's the son of the one that didn't play football. Like, it's just like all this stuff is just fan base nonsense. The kid's going to go play where he wants to play, and none of those factors matter. Not allegiance to a school, not money that they're going to give him. He's going to play where he feels the most comfortable and where he feels like he'll probably have a shot to play. And I think at the end of when it's all done, he will probably surprise somebody.
So I think that's a big play. Where does he have the best opportunity to play? I think that's what puts Bama down the list, right?
Sure.
I think Saban's like, look, if you're not good, you're not playing. I don't care what your last name is. Right? LSU to me is a dark night. He's a Louisiana native. To me, they're on the list. To me, that's something that that's
something that a new head coach would say. Getting that caliber of player as my first year as a head coach,
huge.
That sounds like something that would happen.
Yeah, I could see that.
And I guarantee you the job. Why? Because I'm a first year head coach with
I have nothing to lose.
Right.
Well, there's plenty. There's money. You're at home. And you're going to be the guy. There's no question. So the three things that worst, if I'm Arch, right? Like that matter to me. And you get to create your own. You get to go create your own legacy.
Your own legacy at LSU.
Now you can do the same at Texas, right? But and again, you can say you have the starting job at Texas, but Quinn Ewers to me right now, he is the guy. So to me, that's where I feel like, right? So that's
a lot of competition.
Daniel says Manny's visiting Uga again. Look. Kirby's got some pull too, so that could be something that happens there. It's fun. It's fun to watch. We're always going to be talking about it. So to me, there's no really rhyme or reason for him to go anywhere. Like I said, I think it's going to come down to where does he want to play? Where can he play? Can I create a legacy? Can I make an impact and be a legend here? And then I want to also get paid. But I think all of those schools have the ability to pay him. So to me, that's a wash. That's a no bueno, right? It's going to come down to those four things and recruiting. Like I said, who's going to develop me the most? Which coach is going to give me the best opportunity to play in the NFL, right? Who has the best tools around them? Who's going to protect me the best to make me look the best? And look, part of who you play is part of that. Goes plays in Texas, which might be in the SEC, so that's going to be kind of like a wash in that sense. All the schools he's looking at are all in the SEC, so you're going to have a tough schedule regardless, so forget that argument.
Yeah, but then he'll get to see, his uncle gets to go to Knoxville and watch him play. His uncle gets to go to Ole Miss and watch him play. His dad gets to go and watch him play. And look, he's going to the SEC. That's all it is to it. In Texas, he may go to Texas now, but Texas will be there in a year. Georgia is very interesting. Georgia is a very interesting concept because after Stetson, I don't know what's behind him.
JT Daniels. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I don't know.
I'm sure it's some 5-star recruit.
Sure.
Real quick, Daniel said he sent an email. Did I get the email? Where did you send it, Daniel? I don't know if you were joking with me or not. So I can never tell if Daniel's joking. He's in here riling him up again. Daniel is back at it again. He says he agrees that Manny would be a mistake by going there. All right, let's move on. We have. Give me the name. Give me the name. The $3 million man, Steve.
Jordan Addison
there he is.
Your $3 million NIL man of the year. My goodness.
Not to mention a crib. Apparently there's a house. The memes that are going out from this kid, he's the number one wide receiver last year from college coming out of Pitt after Kenny Pickett, Tiny Hands Pickett was throwing dimes to him, is on the search. He's leaving home, and it seems to be that USC is going to be his landing pad for this year. Now, I have a dark night in this. I think Bama's going to have a big play. Apparently, there's some grumbling and bumbling going around that him and Bryce been throwing the ball around a little bit. And if I'm that kid, you're gonna get some cash out in Bama. You're gonna have a chance to play in a championship. You're gonna get your name, and you've seen the type of wide receivers that come out of Bama. Now, to be fair, Drake London was the number one drafted wide receiver out of USC, so USC has the same argument in play with a great quarterback in Caleb Williamson. So now it comes down to, which is we've been talking about all day today, which is where this another thing that we really didn't think about the NIL, which is just like the NBA and the NFL, is where do I want to go live for the next 2 or 3 years? Yes, would I rather live in the mountains or the hills of California, right? Now, look, to be where things are at, gas prices are $9 a gallon, so I don't know if I would want to live there, but it's the lifestyle. You're in Cali. You have an opportunity for movie deals. It's California. Or do I want to go live in Bodog, Bama?
Right. You got $3 million a year, man. Like, the school is throwing you as much money as they possibly can. They are literally giving you the Reggie Bush lifestyle that cost Reggie Bush
his Heisman.
His Heisman. Like, you mean to tell me that you're going to pay me and give me a free house for me and my family to live in? Gosh, that sounds vaguely familiar for, a player at USC. And I can't understand how in such a short amount of time it went from, well, that'll cost you your Heisman to, well, come on down, kid.
Come on down. Look, we've been preaching the Lincoln Riley thing. It was a genius move that USC is back, and we're going to have an opportunity to love to hate them again. And this is just the icing on the cake of, yeah, they're going to be good. I mean, the schedule is a joke. They're getting absolute studs. And again, look, it's a beautiful campus. Like, now these things are really going to start to play a factor.
Yes.
Like, the living conditions, I think it's always obviously been a factor. Like, hey, this campus is really pretty. I had a good time here. Sure. But if I can have a mansion in the hills or a mansion in Bama, and I have a chance to play in a championship at both schools, the quarterback situation's ideally the same. The coaching situation is not even close. But I get paid $3 million and I get to live in Cali. I'm out. I'm gonna head out. I'm gone.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's ever been to Tuscaloosa, but you may have been there and passed right through it and never known. So if the opportunities financially are the same for a player, you can't tell me that any kid who's 19 or 20 years old who's being offered that much money and a free house to live in LA in the hills versus Tuscaloosa, and we could have passed right by it. Look, no offense to Alabama. Like, they've done a hell of a job in what they've got in Tuscaloosa, but now we're going to start to see what the NFL players go through when they go through free agency. Because, look, Jacksonville, not the prettiest spot to live.
We're not landing people, bro.
We're not landing people based on.
That's why we're paying Christian Kirk $72 million for 4 years.
$72 million, yeah, because he was like, this is going to be like a $12 million upcharge to live here. So, but I mean, like, it's just, yeah, it's because look at the other two like cities in Florida that have teams. Tampa, beautiful. Yeah, trust me, you can find some tough spots at Tampa. Not a lot, but you can. Miami, good luck. It's the whole thing is just built on the tip of a peninsula. It's freaking gorgeous. And you want to bring somebody to North Florida into Jacksonville? You're going to try to woo them out of, like,
look,
Dallas?
Even Gainesville's going to have a hard time. I mean, look, Gainesville is a fun college town, but it ain't Southern Cal.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Green Bay's going to have a hard time if you're not producing like a winning platform as a football team. They're not coming there for the atmosphere. And if you get a kid who's talented, who may not be 100% committed to, well, my next step in my career is that I've got to have a national championship or I have to have a Super Bowl. But I could damn for sure be comfortable as hell in LA. That's where they're going to end up. It's going to end up being about the drive and what the kids want to do. But it's going to be difficult to deal with some of the like Austin's beautiful. Like, how do you compete with that if you're Tuscaloosa?
Sure. And so Daniel says Cali has no fans or had no fans, and I've always preached that. I feel like the fan base and for USC has been horrible, but it seems that they're coming out of the woodworks now. So Miami is dumb outside of the beaches, which is less than 10%. I mean, look.
Yeah, but if you can live in the 10%, you don't care about the 90% outside of it.
Exactly. That's anywhere you go. That's anywhere you go. So yeah, we'll see where he goes. I think Bama's going to be a dark horse in this and pull that off, which would just be absolutely horrendous to happen. Honestly, I would prefer him to go to USC. Simply for the fact of, look, they have
it gets him away from you.
It gets him the hell out of here. It's not a guaranteed W there in USC yet. But if he goes to Bama, it's going to be a shoo-in of just dominance, and I'm not looking forward to that. So you can go ahead and go get your cribbo. Randy Payne, go Dogs. We got some dogs in here. How are we pulling out the dogs?
Like Daniel Rivera has been recruiting. He's been recruiting. There's no other way around this.
Can I get an update on the Heat game, ladies and gentlemen, please? Chris Smith.
Oh,
analysts will
real
be
fast
eating
before we move on, can we get a small Walker Beard update?
A beard?
Baby, yeah.
Dude, it is. You can't. This thing is getting out of control, bro. I'm constantly combing my strings here to the side. So
all right. So I'm gonna do this for the cast people. I'm gonna make Shelton every week put in a picture of him from the day he announced the baby beard, and then he's gonna throw it up next to where I am now, and we're going to watch this progression go, and we're just going to watch this thing go all downhill. I can't wait.
That's fair. 8-point game. Who's winning, Muddy? I mean, that's a horrible update. Real quick, guys, for the ones that we hear, Brian, there he is. Andrew, clearly you've never been to Miami. You can sell Ponte Vedra. You can sell Ponte Vedra. Hey, go Avs. Avs did dominate last night. Real quick,
Avs get a shot out. My gosh, it was like a goal.
It was unreal.
Another goal, and then I was like, I
thought I was watching like baseball or something.
Yeah, it's.
Thank you, Randy. The heater up in the fourth. Yes, Maxey was balling last night, Muddy. Real quick, Brian, you brought up a good point. Nobody else has said anything. You have not missed the lipstick. We decided to hold off on the lipstick and makeup because of Lorenzo. I didn't feel that we felt we made a call that it wouldn't be the best to bring on Lorenzo, and I'm dressed in makeup. Like, hey man,
yeah, we didn't want to scare him off. Like, yeah, let's not get into some weird shit here.
Didn't think that would be great. So,
well, it'll be next week. Next week for sure. Let's move on. Ryan Tannehill, little saucy. Came out on Malik Willis. Was like, yeah, I'm not gonna help mentor the guy. That guy can figure it out on his own. I mean, in so many words. I haven't seen this. I don't think ever. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, who's like the douches of quarterbacks, was like, yeah, I'll help. It's whatever. Like, I don't mind. I want to see this guy do well. Right? Tom has always been like that. He's the perfect example. That's exactly what Brett Favre said about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, but Aaron hasn't done it. And look, Brett had the right to say that. That's Brett Favre. This is Ryan Tannehill. This is Brett Favre, Super Bowl winning, the greatest quarterback of all time, outside of Tom Brady, Brett Favre. Okay? Don't ever do that again, first of all. Second of all, it's Ryan Tannehill.
True.
Like
you're
a
one-hit wonder because you have a 400-pound.
Yeah, you have Derrick Henry in the backfield, bro. Like, outside of that, look, the guy throws. I mean, to be fair, I traded for him in my fantasy football league,
Buddy calling it. Tannehill pulled a Favre. Exactly what he did.
That's not okay. Favre had the right to do that. Tannehill is in no stature. He doesn't have a Super Bowl in his ring. He's choked every time in the Super Bowl. You were the 1 seed, which we called in our prediction that you were going to lose to Joey B. You lost to a sophomore Joey B and Joe Mixon. I don't want to hear it. You're trash. And now your entire team's left. A.J. Brown is gone. Julio Jones is gone. Derrick Henry is hurt, not hurt. I don't know what he's doing. You're trash, Tanny. You don't have any right to be saying that. Malik's going to have your job Game 7.
Well, that's the reason why he's so pissed off. Is like, look, this is what happens
that's aggressive.
when quarterbacks. Yeah, it was. Well, it's it's quite the shot over the bow of the Tanny. But look, this is what happens when quarterbacks who aren't confident in their role as the quarterback, right? And Tannehill came in and they put the perfect team around him, considering he's not the most talented quarterback out there. What you gave him is a great tight end in Wanu. I believe is how I'm saying it right. You had AJ Brown, you had Derrick Henry. They went and got Julio, so they put everything around him that they possibly could to make him functional. So now what happens is you lose, the Wanu. He goes somewhere else, I believe. AJ, Julio, gone, right? So now you're dealing with a banged up running back who has been the horse of that entire offense, like probably three horses to be completely honest with you, maybe 4.5 depending on if you're a Mustang, whatever. But that being said, now he's looking at it like this job isn't mine anymore, and they just took a quarterback with the intention of taking my job. That interview was probably poorly timed. His agent or the PR for the Titans probably should have waited an extra day or two before they had that interview, because he did not go into that
Prepared
diplomatically at all.
No.
He was pissed, and he was like, "And yeah, I'm not going to help that guy. I want him to fail. Why? Because if he fails, I am."
Yeah, that was brutal. I look, I like Tanny. I've always enjoyed him. I think I like to see, because I think Miami did him dirty. I don't think he did well. So I've been excited to see his success. This to me kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. It's like, look, Tanny, you're better than that.
It's shady.
Dude.
It's shady.
Yeah. Look, you can think it and you can believe it, but you don't go out there and you're supposed to be the leader, man. You're the quarterback. Quarterback, man. It's a quarterback. Yeah. Heat up by 10 with 7 minutes. I love it. Real quick, Daniel is stirring it up. Brian says, Daniel, I got an idea. How about you start your own Georgia channel? I mean, look, Daniel, you could, but we enjoy you here.
Yeah, you're fine.
John says, I'll take AR-15 over Stetson's dogs. I mean, yeah, AR is kind of a beast. Look, we gotta keep in mind that Georgia team was stacked. I mean, you saw the draft. Draft.
I mean, well, luckily for Florida, I saw the draft, because my gosh, it was great to see them flying off the board. That one, and now that one's gone, and now that one's gone, and now that one's gone, and now yay, maybe we got a shot here.
Bennett did win the Natty, Daniel, but that team was incredible. Okay, let's not get crazy.
That was 2013 FSU style. That was just everybody was
good. Yeah, like you can't put it into one person. It was just a really, really good team.
Well, all 22 got drafted. Like if you take the starting 11 on the offense and the starting 11 on the defense, all 22 got drafted.
That's insane.
Yeah, right. So that's what I'm saying is you have a defense and an offense that was able to produce that much talent. My gosh, like that's difficult to reproduce. So everybody's got a shot right now. Georgia can't feel like they're invincible.
Andrew has a great point. DJ, I can't say this kid's last name, from Clemson, Ugali is the next Felipe Franks. I would love that. That's a great hot take. I would too, because screw Clemson. I can't stand Clemson. He's not wrong, because look, Felipe was supposed to be this truth, this big deal coming out. Like we were so excited, and just kind of flopped. And DJ. I mean, last year was supposed to be his year. Everything was laid out, and he just did not look good. I'm concerned for this kid. He's going to lose his job quick. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him in the portal next year.
Oof, that's a reach. I think a little bit, only because they put so much into him being the next generational talent.
Deshaun.
Well, then you had so hold on. Before Deshaun, you had Boyd, Taj Boyd. Then you had Deshaun, and then you had Trevor. But what I'm saying is that they've put so much into Uigali that I don't know who their backup guy is, and I didn't see a whole lot of. There weren't enough times for Clemson to take their starting quarterback out and give their backup some reps. I've seen the kid. I'm not super impressed with him. But that being said, if you think that Uigali is going to hit the transfer portal, who's going to take him right now? He hasn't shown anybody anything that's going to put him as a hot commodity out there.
Nobody's going to take him, but I just think he's not going to have a home in
Didn't Franks have that one moment where like everybody was down on him and he had that one great game where he
Yeah.
did like the whole Superman thing and
Yes.
then he went
No, he
bananas
did the
for like
Gator.
5 straight games?
He did the Gator chomp.
Is that what it was? It was something
Yeah.
like that. But
Yeah.
then he went bananas for like 4 or 5 games and then either got hurt and fell off or something, but he just went right back to old DJ Franks.
Flew big on a Felipe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
They just signed Viziana, took our QI prospect. That's from Kerry Johnson.
What is
Sean says, nobody seems to realize Florida has 4 and 5 stars all over the field on both sides of the ball. They were in a toxic environment. There's some pretty good talent out of Florida. I would agree. Look, I think by having that conversation with Lorenzo, I really feel like there is some solid talent there. I mean, this kid's an absolute stud, and there's more of them just like that there. So, look, I agree. I think the environment was a little bit toxic. We didn't want to get that much into it with Lorenzo, but it seems like things are in a little bit better place right now. So, Heat up by 16. I put it on my screen here, guys, just so I could have it because I felt like it was getting close, but up by 13 with 6 minutes left. That feels pretty good. Moving on. Quarter zip Urban's back in the news, and honestly, I'm here for it. Anytime old quarter zip gets back in the news, I get excited. I love this. It's fun. Apparently, Fox hired him, but didn't hire him, but kind of put it out there to hire him. I don't know. But Sean Cobb kind of had some words. He's like, why would anybody want to work with this guy? Kicks him while he's down. I want to make sure everybody understands how great of a little thumbnail that is. Little tagline. Kicks him while he's down because he kicked Lambeau.
Because he was.
It was good. It was good. It was good. It was well thought out. It was well thought out.
Well done. Well done.
Hold on. Thank you. I got a like for that one. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you. Look. I think it's funny. At this point, I agree with Sean or Cod or whatever. Yeah. Why would you? Like, out of all the toxicness that came out of the Jacksonville saga, right? Him going up with his quarter zip, getting a little booty dancing. Like, wow, how does this guy even have that this quickly? I guess you should say of an opportunity to get back in the field. Like, how is he not canceled? This guy is just he never goes away. I don't get it. Like, he just continues to gets jobs just handed to him. Like, what does he do? Is his PR agent that good? Is he just? It's confusing. It's crazy to me that this guy is able to pull this off time and time again and just keep getting jobs handed to him. To be honest with you, he hasn't really. I mean, he's done a lot. He won some championships, but if you look at those championships, they're on the back of other coaches. But we're not going to get into that. But it seems like he just keeps getting things handed to him. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's the funniest thing, man. The guy's a slime ball. Especially Ryan Bork. I'll give Ryan Bork the biggest credit here, and I hate doing it. But when he got hired, he said, "You're going to hate this hire." As a Jaguars fan, you're going to hate this hire because Bork is a Florida fan, and he hated the guy. He loved what he gave Florida, but he hated the guy that he was, and he didn't like the fact that that was the representative of the university. And then we're all like, well, no, we'll take anything at this point because Tim Tebow, yay, and he might be on the team, yay. And then we were like, no, listen, wins hide all sins. Wins hide all sins.
He's not wrong.
But
he didn't win.
If you don't have any wins, the
sins get out. They come out.
Right, because look, if we won 14 games – and he came in and Tim Tebow's an offensive coordinator and Trevor Lawrence is throwing, 30 touchdowns and putting Tom Brady numbers and the gold locks are flying around and he's on every Gatorade billboard across the country. Does anybody give a crap that Urban Meyer's over here booty grinding some chick in Ohio? No, it's the fact that he sucks. And where are you? And what are you doing? People question what you're doing when you suck at your job. So I don't know. In Ohio State and Florida, the guy was probably doing some stupid shit too, but nobody cared because
he was winning
championships. So
that's very true.
I think to Bork's point, he knew it was here.
It makes you wonder, right, what was going on when he was there because of the fact of how bad it got in Jacksonville so fast, right? Because he wasn't winning, it was easy to rag on him. But when you're up and again, you have way more control and over the players, right? Because he was getting laughed out of rooms in Jacksonville, so he didn't have that problem up in games or up during his college era. Because look, he was walking around kicking football players. Like you have to think about that, right? Think about for a second that he had the audacity to walk up to a grown man and kick him and say, "Hey, start making some more kicks.
Hey, make more kicks." And
he goes, "Don't ever kick me again." He goes, "I'll kick you if I want to." Like what? At what point do you like what happened that makes you think that you're that bigger, better than everyone that you can just walk up and do something? Like there's something there that like he had a massive head when he was in obviously
because
in Gainesville.
He was used to dealing with kids. Like you can walk
Sure.
up to a 19-year-old kid that can't leave your university without sitting out for a year, and then the university can block your transfer. Like you're talking about guys that are making millions of dollars. Like it's not the same playing field, literally, and you're not dealing with the same mental capacities. These guys have money. They go home to a nicer house than you do, asshole. So
True.
It's just like, what are you talking about? And then you come out here and then you start acting like a jackass. Like it's no wonder that nobody took him seriously. But look, again, there were some people out there that said this is a name hire. It's never going to work. Our current administration, our upper administration, wasn't capable of handling him because Shad Khan doesn't really get that much into the hands-on functionality with the team. But like our current GM wasn't going to be able to do it. We had lost Coughlin. Could you only imagine if Coughlin was here at the same time as Urban?
Wow.
There'd have been a death match. Death match.
I was there. I mean, obviously I'm a Gator fan, so I witnessed the Urban Meyer championships right in Gainesville. Quarter zip Urban tops that. I mean, there's just that's his peak. Okay, he should have left it at that and just walked away with his millions.
I agree. In a heart attack.
Right, like that. Like you kind of had like a weird legacy. You came to Jacksonville. You got to coach the number 1 draft pick, Trevor Lawrence. You got Tebow. Well, you got him into the NFL one last time. You got to change positions, and then you walk off on a high with quarter zip Urban. I mean, why ruin that legacy? I mean, it's honestly like you're a legend. You're a legend.
Ended on year 1.
Like honestly, you accomplished a lot of like cool feats that no other coach would ever want to do, but you're Urban. Who cares? You got a couple of college natties. Now you got some baddies. See what I did there? You got Tebow. You got Tebow back in. What's up with it? I'm saying quarters of Urban was.
I thought you were talking about the one in the bar.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the baddie I'm talking about. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That was the connection. Quarter of Urban, man. That was peak Urban. I wish he knew that. Hold on real quick. George, what's up, man? I miss George. He comments on all the stuff. He always goes, "Go Gators, beat Utah." Like it's his tagline at this point. So George, appreciate you stopping by, Bubba. It's a shit show down here in the comments.
This is crazy. It's almost distracting how fast this is going by.
Yeah, like are you listening to us? And you can be honest. We're not even like we're talking about like 19 different things, and like you guys are just. Should we go? Should we just leave this up? Like, are we interrupting something? Our bad. Okay, sorry. We'll be back. They probably won't even notice, Steve. They don't even know. Logan, what's up, big dog? What's up, little Bubba? Carrie says, "I love my Gators, and I will always appreciate what Urban did for us." Well, I mean, yeah. Look, that Urban also will never be hated. Let's go through these comments real quick.
It's just saucy about.
I don't even know where to go. So there's a lot of arguments about this. The roster. We're talking about who's going to win the Florida Georgia game. To me, it's too soon to have this conversation, right? From a personal side, obviously I'm going to pick Florida. From a realist side, hey, if I'm really breaking this down, I'm still picking Florida. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, look, to me, that game it's never a shoo-in. I'm going to be honest. I don't care if Florida goes in there defeated, not winning a single game. That something changes, just like Lorenzo said. That's like the big game of the year. So to me, I don't feel like it's a shoo-in game like people think that it is. Sometimes the score comes out obviously after the fact differently, but I think going into it, it's one of those games. It's like the Florida State game. Those kids they're playing with kids they went to school with. It has a different vibe because you could ruin that other team's season. And that is sometimes worth more than your season just to go in and ruin their day. So for me to pick who's going to win, like for us to have like a legit discussion about it, it's hard. Obviously, I think we're going to win every game. The only team that I would say, yeah, there's no shot would be Bama. Like when we played Bama last year, I'm like, yo, we can get it with 3 points. I'm like, that's a W. There's certain things that I'm willing to look at, but the Georgia game, there's no reason we don't look. What you just said, 22 of them just went to the NFL. Stetson Bennett, is he good? Yes. Is he better than AR-15? I don't think so. Not from an athletic standpoint. No. Is he a good quarterback? Did he do well fitting into the role? Sure. But is he going to lead the Dogs to another natty? No, they got. There's some more pieces to that puzzle.
Sure. Yeah. Look, I mean, in that game, just as of late, it felt like the talent level almost told you who was going to win, but that's only as of late. Prior to that, I mean, both teams, it didn't matter if there was one team that was 6 and one team that was, 26. They just get in that damn stadium. They come over the bridge, and both teams have talked about it. You get on that bus and you come over the bridge and you see just a sea of RVs and people who have been camping out and people who were already tailgating, and they've been there. It's just cars and parties as far as you can see. And then you see the stadium. You can see inside the stadium from the top of the bridge, and you realize that's where it's going to happen. And these guys just get hyped from the second that they get on top of that bridge coming over. And you see it when it's on the field. It's two teams. Talent lately has won, but the opening quarter of these games matters so much because the emotion is so high and they just want to beat the living snot out of each other. And I want to say even this last game with Georgia, it looked like that was going to be a slugfest until the last minute and a half that Georgia somehow scored 2 touchdowns, I want to say. So look, even this year when Georgia pulled away with it, it was still violent and angry and mean and all the things that you expect out of the cocktail party.
All the above.
Yes, sir.
Daniel just over here getting people riled up. Real quick, Carrie. So we had Lingard on earlier. Carrie, you weren't here, but we interviewed him. So if you guys are all late and missed that interview, go back and watch after we post it. It was absolutely incredible. I see a lot of you guys kind of talking about that because obviously that's what the thumbnail was. But we had him on for about 30 minutes, had some really cool insight, had a really cool conversation with him. Really awesome guy.
Yeah, he's awesome.
John says, thank you, Sheldon. Bennett can't hold a fishing pole to AR-15. I appreciate the fishing pole context, especially we were talking a lot about fishing earlier. A quick update. Miami is dumping on the Sixers, and I just wanted to say a quick shout out to Jamelsa. What's up, big dog? What's up? Oh yeah, like and subscribe as always. Real quick, let's do your brew talk. Tell me, Steve, what's this Bruno kid? Don't talk about Bruno.
So look, we were talking about the
Stick to my day job.
Yeah, I'd like to. You did well. We talked about the NIL earlier and just some of the massive headache and just nonsense that this whole thing is creating. It's if we ask the NCAA to regulate something that's going to be as intricate as the NIL, we all thought it was going to go well, right? Right. So let's talk about this kid. His name is Brew. All right. He was a top 5 receiver coming out of
5-star.
Yeah. 5-star coming out of college. Right. He commits to USC. All right. After 17 days, he transfers to Texas. At that point, Cliff Kingsbury decides to take a job, who was the offensive coordinator at Texas at that point, decides to take another job at the Arizona Cardinals. He decides, well, I'm going to transfer back to USC. Takes a red shirt. Doesn't get back on the field because, I don't know, you can't even find a home. You're practically homeless. Comes into 2020 and catches, 20 catches, 236 yards. So here we go. So Brew has decided now, after 14 transfers, 37 schools, and a partridge in a pear tree, that he is no longer happy at USC. likely because there's a coaching change and they weren't happy with him. So now he is going to make another transfer to go to the University of Tennessee to be a player there. Not one time has this kid missed a game for any of this movement. He missed games because there was an illness. They never said what it was, but
got arrested.
He got arrested, got kicked out of school. Like, it's just, and yet this guy's just going to bounce around. Like, it's okay. I'll just go here. Well, if I can't play here, I'll just go there. Well, if I can't go there, I'll go there. 17 days. He was a Texas Longhorn for 17 days before he decided.
It gives me the Tate Martell vibes, right? And look, this is what's not being looked at is the portal isn't everyone's best friend, right? Everyone sees a $3 million kid. We all see that. What we don't see is, I could be a little bit off on these numbers, but I want to say there was 1,000 kids that entered the portal. Maybe 800. Maybe it was 800. I think it was 863 entered the portal. 200 have signed with the school. That's a lot. That's a lot of kids with no homes that are still
decided to enter the portal.
Yeah,
thinking it was going to put them somewhere.
Correct, and I think that's where this portal thing might pay dividends because kids are going to realize, well, shoot, I'm not as good as I thought I was, and I go out to test the waters, and now I'm sitting here like a floating duck. And that to me is going to be where I think it might rein it in a little bit on kids not leaving, because look, do I take the chance to go somewhere and not get picked up at all and then have to miss a year and then go play at a small school to get my credit back, right? Like there is, and that's always been a risk with the portal, but I feel like more kids are entering it now because, oh, who's not going to pick me up? Well, it feels like it's still the same.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, to that point, I mean, so now you're worried about entering the portal. And look, if you put your name in that portal, the school that you currently play for is assuming that you're not going to be there. So the scholarship limit hasn't changed at all. So now you have kids entering the portal, the school immediately making moves to backfill your spot. And if a kid decides after, I don't know, I've sat here for 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, that nobody's interested in me. Hey, I made a bad decision. I just want to go back. You can't come back. We've already filled your spot. And now they're lost. They'll be the kids that get just lost in translation. They're literally just floating in that weird area. There's like bed and bath, and there's like the beyond in the middle. They're in the beyond part, right? They don't know where to go. But they're all going to end up being forgotten. They're going to end up in small schools. They're going to end up, in having to try to maybe use like the USFL as a developmental league or something like that, depending on how that plans out. But you've got these kids that if they're just not getting the traction that they want in the portal, they think everything's so fast and free and it's so quick now. They go in that portal, the school immediately replaces them, and they decide that it's not going to work, and they want to come back, and you've lost your scholarship and you've lost your ability to have really a home.
Sure. Yeah, look, I think that's the part that nobody's really looking at, which is going to be a big thing.
Yeah, where do they go?
They're roasted Daniel in here. This is an absolute blast. Before we wrap it up, let's get into this a little bit. Daniel says Gator fans are rethrowing any shoes this year. Look, if we want to toss a shoe down the field, Daniel, okay, we'll toss a shoe. All right. So don't come at it like we don't regret the shoe throwing. Okay, we were pumped up. I would have thrown the shoe too. Okay, all right. So no need for. I wouldn't. No, I'm pretty pissed about that.
I know. Yeah.
Sean said better. He said it's possible. Better lace him up. Andrew says I don't get it, Dan. Are you? Oh yeah, the pass again. And then Sean says I think he has a higher ceiling. Oh, I think he said higher calling at first.
I hope it was a higher ceiling. That way you don't hit it with the shoe.
Yes, Muddy. Victor Oladipo. This is real quick. Let's do a little Miami Heat thing. Okay, Miami Heat. They're about to go up 2-0 against Philly. Before Embiid got hurt, everybody was picking Philly to win. Now, I don't want to see Embiid out. I wanted to play Philly at full strength, as Jimmy said too. I hate this stuff because it's like you guys shouldn't have won. You only won because so and so's out. Miami is a good team. I am so confident. I've said this to multiple people. I put money on Miami back in November when the odds were like plus 400 to win the championship. I feel pretty good about this team. This team is stacked with depth. They always say, oh, they don't have a superstar. Like, no, we don't have this big-headed guy. Jimmy Butler kind of says to himself, we don't have, like, your Kevin Durant's and your James Harden who's like, oh, it's all about me. They just got a stud on the court. Mike Lowry, Kyle Lowry, Butler, Tyler Hero, 6th man of the year. Congratulations to that guy getting it done this year because that guy is an absolute stud. I mean, he has been hooping. Victor Oladipo, who was the man in Orlando, then in Indiana, dealt with his injury for the last year and a half. He's also a star. He just has been gone for a little bit. So now he's coming in fully healthy. Bam Adebayo is a star. This team is just dangerous. And I'm excited. I'm beyond excited for this team. It's up 116 with a 1-on-1. 15 up by 15 with 50 seconds left. Love it.
Well, I apologize to all the people on the cast that just had to witness Shelton speaking Spanish because I have not a single understanding of a word he said.
You got to keep up, Steve.
It sounded Englishy, but I have no idea what you're talking about.
Thank you, Daniel. Look, guys, Daniel kind of likes to get in here, gets riled up. You guys give him plenty of hard time, so I love it.
Daniel back at it again with the white Vans.
Daniel, do you sleep in your UGG PJs? Do you actually think that you're the mascot?
Oh wow, look at that! Like
your head is like the size of a watermelon. Go Gators, chop chop! Look, he's backing down.
Some bait out there that our boy Lorenzo would throw on a hook.
Yes, John Morant is becoming a stud, Chris.
That hurt me to say it. Really did.
we appreciate it, Daniel. We appreciate it. Go Gators, chomp chomp. Ladies and gentlemen, what a show! It's always a blast to hang out with you guys. Right? What was going to be my sign-off? I said it the other day. Like, what was it? I got to remember it. Remember we talked about always new to your pets from Price is Right? What was the sign-off? Do you remember?
I don't know, but this week it better be. I can't wait to see everybody next week in makeup.
No, what was it? Was it about balls?
It's always about balls with you.
It makes me mad that I forgot. It was a good sign-off. I should have wrote it down, but I didn't.
You gotta write this stuff down.
Dang it, it was so good. What was it?
I'll just stare at you angrily Monday.
You don't remember either? You were there.
No, I know. It was your sign-off. It's your job to remember it. I had my own tagline. I had my own intro.
I don't remember what it was. Because I watched the thing about Bill Barker. Yeah. Where he says,
Bob Barker?
Bob Barker, where he says, make sure you neuter your pets. That was always like his sign-off thing.
Yes.
Gosh, I had one and I forgot what it was. It was good too.
Well, you leave my pets out of this. I'll do what I want with them. And you figure out what the hell your sign-off was going to be. Until then, for everybody who's been in the comments.
Was it get a vasectomy? I think it was get a vasectomy. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. I don't know what it was.
All right, so next week, look, we're going to have Shelton in makeup. We're also going to have a beard update. We're going to give you guys a good look at where things started with the Baby Walker beard and where we are now. Put a little side-by-side contrast. Everybody who's in the comments, we love you guys. Lorenzo Lingard, we'll definitely throw a hook in the water with you soon. We're gonna have Shelton try to pull a semi with you or a bus or whatever the hell you were pulling, my man. Thanks for being on. For everybody else, my gosh, it's great to see everybody. We'll be back on here Wednesday. Until then, my name is Holly.
I'm Shelton. You guys heard it here first. Boogity, boogity, boogity. See ya. Like and subscribe. Go Gators.
I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never run. So fight and die for the things you know you love.
I was gonna kill him. This is banging.
It's your life, do what you want.
See ya.
So fight.